This year was the first time in
Pat Duncanson, wife Kristen, brother Carl, and his wife Jacqueline make up Duncanson Growers, a growing business in southern Minnesota where the soil is rich and family values run deep. Pat credits hard work, diversification, good partnerships, and great training as the hallmark of their successful business.
For both my brother and I'm going to credit our parents very much so in teaching us to think progressively, to not be afraid of challenges, not be afraid of making a mistake and learning from those mistakes. And certainly our operation has made many mistakes and we've stumbled a few times, but we think we have learned from each of those experiences and benefited from that.
Pat and Carl's father and uncle began the original farm, growing to be a fairly large operation of a couple thousand acres in the 1950s and 60s. But true to Pat's philosophy of it doesn't have to be bigger, just better, Pat saw ways to expand the family operation even further.
And especially over the last 10 years, we've really internalized our growth by making our operation more productive, tying together some key benefits that are also environmental benefits. And by making our farm even more diversified and a little less dependent on crop production.
The Duncansons have improved their land and the environment by implementing tried and true techniques, tiling, grange, and just good farming management, because anyone who knows anything about southern Minnesota knows Mother Nature isn't always cooperative.
None of what we really do is all that unique or special to us, but we've been very lucky in tying it together and having things come together at a very good time for us. We've increased productivity in large part through drainage. We're in a part of south central Minnesota that's blessed with very heavy soils and usually quite abundant rainfall, sometimes at the wrong time of the year. We've tried to quantify what that increased drainage can do for us and on a financial basis. And with the help of some financial consultants and also with the cooperation of some of our landlords in being willing to work with us on improving the drainage, we've been able to increase our yield steadily. And rather than growing more marginal acres, we're growing more productive acres and making the acres that we have more productive.
Pat says another key to their success is the ability to step back and view the operation without emotion from a purely financial standpoint. By doing so, Pat realized if they wanted to succeed, they needed to diversify.
In addition to feeding cattle, we've also added hog finishing. It's really been one of the bright spots for us. We got involved in custom hog finishing about 10 years ago and have expanded that side of the operation, and that has done very well for us, especially as we tie in the nutrients that come out of the barns in the form of manure. That's been a real key synergy in making our crop operation more productive.
As Pat began to think outside the box, he ran into an old friend, a contractor buddy of his who was also looking for a change, and together they built a subdivision along the outskirts of Mapleton. Pat is also working with local elevators and feed mills to help alleviate another major problem producers in southern Minnesota face each year by adding and improving grain storage in the area. But no matter how big the operation becomes, Duncanson is firmly rooted with family values and a keen sense of what the future may hold for the next generation.
We're not here to just farm for a few years. We're here to farm for our lifetimes. And if we're fortunate enough that some of our kids want to continue on as the next generation, we fully expect that our decisions today will only add to their success in the future.